Hey there, lovely people. Van Daven here. And what I want to show you today is my new Aclam minimal pedalboard. I never played a pedalboard when I was younger. I played Pro Gap. I played over a Euxin Kettner power amp, over a Marshall 4x12, but that's over 30 years ago now. So I just thought it was time to go for a pedalboard, and I just didn't like those types of pedalboards where you have to put on the Velcro and you have to put on the sticky stuff. So I went on the web and I searched, and I found the Spanish company Aclam, which are offering a way to clamp all the pedals onto the board, which is superb because you don't have to kind of waste a lot of time with planning. You just, you can go on pedalplayground.com, try planning, then get the Aclam here and see if it's actually working out. Because due to the fact that you have these little clamps here, it makes it a bit hard to plan it prior. But the cool thing is, even if you plan it completely different, you can still have a blast with Aclam and with Thomann, because you can order stuff from Thomann and then send it back. Without further ado, let's take a look what's on the pedalboard, and after that we're gonna have some audio examples. Thank you. So here we go. This is the board, and I chose to use an upper for a second layer, and actually that one's doubled up. So many thanks to Joel at Aclam who made that possible. Taking a closer look at the pedalboard from the side, as you can see here, we have those uppers, those spacers, so there's enough room for the plugs to be connected. The heart of the whole unit is an IK Multimedia ToneX Pedal, but let's just take a look at the sequence of the tools on this board. So coming in from the guitar is a cable here. I can also use my Boss wireless system. Going into TC Electronic Polytune Mini, which serves two purposes. One of them, you have an input mute with the switch, and of course you have the great Polytune tuner. And then the signal goes to a Digitech Drop pedal. Two of the bands I play in use different tunings for different songs, so it's just a blessing to have that unit in order to not having to carry too many guitars to a gig. From the Drop, the signal goes into a Kartakou Warmer, which is an absolutely awesome overdrive booster unit. We'll take a look at it a little bit later. From the Kartakou, it goes into the Phase 95, which fits very well and offers both Phase 45 and Phase 90 functions in script and non-script block letter mode. You can read about that on the internet. It's just two different ways those phasers work. And it's small, and the signal is then carried into an SL drive by Exotic. It's a different type of overdrive, I dare say. It's a different type of sound. It's, let's say the SL drive offers some sounds that the Warmer cannot deliver. It's a bit of a one-trick pony. And finally, from the SL drive, this signal goes into the ToneX. Inside the ToneX, of course, we have different amp profiles and speaker IRs. And from there, the signal goes mono into the UAFX Del Verb unit. And from there, it goes into something that's mounted under the Aclam pedal. And that's the cool thing about Aclam, right? You can just mount things everywhere and it really works. And the thing it goes into is a Lele P-Split 3 box, which basically splits the unbalanced signal and makes it balanced, so I can go into the desk and I can go let's say, into my in-ear monitoring system directly from here. The last part on the pedal board that I haven't talked about yet is this bright onion pedal. It's just a switch, and it switches between A and B settings of each and every amplitude preset. It's basically a booster, but the cool thing is when the boost is engaged, the light is also on, so I have some visual control over whether I'm in boost mode on the preset of the amplitude or not. And here we can take a look at the back of the unit. As you can see, under the pedal board with those Aclam clamps, what are they called? Universal power supply clamps or whatever. That holds the lele in place, and in the back you can also see the sole. I try to pull it up. I think that's easiest. So here we can see the lele box now from underneath, and behind it we have the Jock's sole power supply. We can also see the application of the tidy cable system by Aclam. It's just superb, and it holds so well, surprisingly well. It's just fantastic. Now that you know what's on the pedal board, let's listen to a few examples. I'll be playing my wonderful Blue Meonis Hydra. I'm a big Hydra fan, as you can also see in the back. And this one has the TKOs by Bare Knuckle installed, and let's see how that sounds with a 6505 capture by Synmix. I should probably also mention that the signal is just going directly from the lele box into my UAD Apollo, into the mic preamp, and that's what you're hearing now. Of course it's mono. I just use mono sounds on stage, and well. Sounds awesome. So now we're back on the pedal board, and let's test the functions in real life. So here's some sound. In case we don't want to hear it, just press the polytune. That's superb. Then secondly, the drops. It's even better when we change to this rather overdrivey 6505 by Synmix, which alone sounds like this. But using the Kartakou, we can just boost the whole thing so it sounds a bit wilder. We have the drop in front of the Kartakou, and that makes it even better because somehow the drop sounds better if there's like an overdrive right after it. Just take a listen. Coming to the Kartakou, I want to take a closer look. So that's the Kartakou Warmer, and as an overdrive pedal, it has two functions. This is like clipping on, so overdrive is on and off. Then we have two different versions of overdrive, and then we have a bass boost, which makes it sound a bit like a fuzz, I dare say. And I'm gonna switch off the ToneX amp now, so we have a clean signal, and we also don't need the drop now. So that's the clean signal coming into the ToneX. And now this is the Kartakou. So this is a pure boost. I hit that switch. It's no longer boosting, it's also distorting, depending on where you put the gain. Kind of like that. And then here, with that switch, we have a different version of the gain. And then here we also have a bass boost. So this is just boosted. This is now with the overdrive. And this is a different overdrive. It's a bit more crunchy, and with the bass, it goes more into fuzz territory. So let's take a look at a different case now. This is a very flubby rectifier sound that comes with the ToneX pedal. Quite flubby, and for the stuff I play, totally useless. So let's turn on the Kartakou just in boost mode and listen to that. Needless to say, it also works quite well in drop mode. Maybe a tad more tone, a tad more volume. And let's hit the distortion. Of course, the same thing can also be done with the SL drive. So I disengage the Kartakou and I engage the SL drive, and that's going to be a bit more of a bluesy tone. As I said before, the ASL drive just features a completely different approach on distortion or overdrive in comparison to the Warmer, so those two make a very good pair. What should also be mentioned, of course, is the MXR Phase 95. It's one of the most budget product that MXR is offering, but it features a lot of functions. We have that script control, which basically switches between the phasing of two different general models, and we can switch between the 45 and the 90. So let's have a listen. Another ultra awesome thing is the Bright Onion pedal, which is simply a switch, but with a built-in LED, and it makes it possible to switch two settings on the ToneX presets. In my case, that's just a volume boost. So in case I'm playing lead and I want to have it a bit louder, many thanks to James the Bright Onion for supplying that so quickly and in a custom color. And now we've arrived at the final part of the pedal board, which is the Del Verb Ambience Companion pedal by Universal Audio, or UAFX, which is basically Universal Audio's own way of implementing their standard algorithms in a pedalboard form. So here we have three different algorithms or plugins or whatever you want to call it, with their own kind of presets. You can set that on the UA app. We also have like two different functions for the switches here, and we have a couple of parameters to work with. So let's take a look. At the moment we're on the precision delay, which is kind of your clean 80s reverb, and we have a tap function like this. More feedback. Of course, in case you don't want to tap, you can still adjust the delay time here. That's the mix for the delay, and this is the mix for the reverb. In this mode, that's the on and off switch, so now nothing. Switches both the reverb and the delay. You can also change the functionality of the buttons, which is what I'm doing now. Now we're going to delay and reverb. As you can see, the buttons kind of changed. Now nothing is on, and now it's just the reverb. Long reverb, and here we have a shorter plate. And then here we only have the delay. No reverb. So much about that pedalboard. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so thankful to the people from Lele, to the people from Bright Onion. They were all like fantastic, and so I thought I'm gonna make that video. The other thing that I have to mention is it's so different and so easy and so nice to play a pedal board like that, or through a pedal board like that, because you don't have to work presets like I had to do on the quad codecs, like I had to do on the Kemper, like I had to do on the XFX, right? Still have a quad codecs here, and it's a great machine, but it's not that type of stuff that I want to take on stage, because I want to have total control. I just want to reach out and turn a knob and then get a result, put on the delay, put on the boost, put on the phaser, and that's about, I'm covered. Like in regards to the things I do with the bands I play in, I'm covered. And yeah. And the other thing that should probably be mentioned is that if you want to experiment with things, because as I told you before, I had completely different units on the board when the whole idea started. A system like the Aclam just makes it very, very lightweight to just change things, to just switch around between different units. You don't have to stick things on, you just clamp it, and that's just a great thing. So, well, so much about that. I'm off to a rehearsal now. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to have the best day ever. Bye.